What's up, Tess Gascon?
Hi.
I feel like I see you every day.
I know. I see you more now than I did before all this COVID stuff.
I know, because I can't travel now. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Just recovering. I don't know if you can see, I'm a little sunburnt. Was out on the lake yesterday, so.
For your son's birthday, huh?
Yep. So had lots of fun.
Nice. Did he have fun?
He did. He caught 11 fish.
11?
So, 11. He caught his age in fish, and then he had a personal record 19.5-inch walleye.
Nice.
Yeah. So pretty good day.
Yep. I'm not a big fisherman, so when you say walleye, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a fish.
All right. So just I'll introduce you real quick and then we'll just kind of flow with it. But so Tess Gascon out of Colorado Springs. Her and I partnered together starting in November. We were on a championship kickball team.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal, just for anybody watching. So in the industry for real estate for 7 years, done real estate in Georgia and Colorado, has 2 kids. Just killing it. And co-team leader with myself and Erica. And so Tess, how did you get into real estate?
So I actually was a bookkeeper when I got into real estate. I bought my first house and really liked the idea of investing in real estate, really liked what my realtor did a lot better than what I was currently doing. And so I asked him, I said, hey, how do I get into this? What do I do? He was with Keller Williams downtown. Downtown Denver, sorry, I guess I should say. And just kind of got started with it. He had me do this really cool test that I had never heard of, a disc test from Tony Robbins, and find out if my personality kind of meshed with it. Turns out it does. And so went from there, got my license, and went to work. So then after a couple of years in Denver, moved to Georgia, kept my license active here so I could still do transactions. And then went to Georgia in a really small town, no Keller Williams, had never heard of EXP, and just kind of did my thing there. Came back to Colorado, but Colorado Springs this time. And it is just far enough away, and I know everyone here already knows Colorado Springs and Denver are very different markets. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect, so kind of had to shift my clientele and shift the way that I did business and what my goals were when I got here. So
cool. Crazy times we're in right now, huh?
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. When I came to a cloud-based brokerage, I didn't ever expect that we were going to have to operate solely cloud-based. So kind of glad that I'm here.
Yeah. So first year in real estate, how many transactions did you do?
Oh, I would have to check. Actually, so one of my goals and one of the things that my coach has asked me to do, I know I did pretty well my first year, but I would have to ask him. I asked him when he does my taxes if he can total everything out for me year by year, and then how many. I would love to be that person that's like, oh, I've sold X amount of homes. It just never was a thing for me for tracking, which it should have been coming from bookkeeping, but I just kind of went and did my own thing and rolled with it. So I will be able to tell you by January.
Okay.
Hopefully before then I can ask him if he can get on it beforehand. So
okay. So he's going to track all the way back 7 years.
Yes, I know. Poor guy's been dealing with me for that long. So
hopefully you pay him well.
I know. Yeah, he definitely earns what he makes.
So how is the market? I mean, what's Georgia like selling real estate? I lived there, but I was so young, I didn't sell real estate there. So
yeah, so keep in mind the town that I was in was so far south that my bank was in Florida. So it was like really, really tiny town, Valdosta, Georgia. And this was circa 2014, 2015. So there, the average days on market was about 90 to 120, and the average purchase price was 120 to 150. So literally kind of closer to that right now, where it's like, hey, do you want to go see homes? Okay, well, I guess before the new stay-at-home order, I have some time in the next couple days where, as we know in the market that we've been experiencing in the most recent years here in Colorado Springs, nothing like that. It's like, okay, you like this home, let's go see it in 2 hours.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even with the stay-home order, I called our mutual friend Greg with Coldwell, and I was like, hey, dude, what's up with your listing that just went live today? I don't know. We have showings. So I'm like, even after everything that's been put out, and I'm not trying to put anybody on blast because, I mean, everybody's going to, you got to do what you got to do. People can't be homeless, in my opinion, but that's not any legal advice or anything.
Yeah. So, we're not attorneys.
Yeah. Just kind of, I mean, there it's just, I feel like it's just an opinion. Well, it is opinion, but it's common sense. Like, people need to move. Like, right?
Definitely.
Anyway, so, I mean, shelter, food, water.
I know. All the things that you need.
I don't know.
Clothes. I don't know. I need clothes. I'm always cold.
Yeah. Okay. So you moved back to Colorado Springs. You're doing real estate. You started your own brokerage here. What did that look like?
Yeah. So my friend had a boutique brokerage that she decided to shut down, and she was like, hey, you're kind of already doing this anyways. Why don't you just go out on your own, try it out, see it? And so I did. I started my own team, started my own brokerage. It was exhausting.
Why is that?
So I mean, as a lot of people that run teams know, that in itself is definitely a full commitment outside of just doing real estate. But then not having any resources or the backing of a larger company or the technology that, without purchasing expensive things, I was everybody's sole source of training, of contract review, of questions, of everything. So it was a lot. It was kind of like having 3 full-time jobs, plus being a mom, wife, dog owner, person. So for me, giving up my team seemed like a really good decision. I think I was just at my breaking point. I went to an amazing team, gave up all of my team members, helped them find their own brokerages, and then went on to a team as a team member to take some weight off of myself. And they are amazing. And it was really eye-opening to myself and what growth I needed, and just kind of decided that being a team member and just kind of doing the backseat thing isn't necessarily my role. I like to be a leader. I like coaching. I like mentoring.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Big question. Why'd you come to EXP from a top 100 REMAX team? Well, besides like you wanting to do your own team lead or team leadership stuff.
Yeah. So for me, just looking around at, well, one, I had never really heard of EXP until you introduced me of it. Like, I just didn't know anything about it. I know, at kickball. I had heard all of the typical stereotype things. Didn't ever really do any research into it.
What are those stereotypical things?
It's just an MLM. They don't really have a future. They're not going to be big time in real estate. Their numbers don't make sense. Things like that. It's not sustainable. All of that,
Those are all interesting things.
Aren't they? Yeah. So and I just kind of like left it in the back burner. Didn't really think twice about it. I interviewed a couple of brokerages, and just, it was actually kind of a coincidental thing. The person that I was closest to coming over to actually ended up going to EXP in the same time that I was transitioning. And I was like, okay, well, it spoke volumes to me that this person in the role that they were in was considering leaving the brokerage they were at and going to EXP. And so that's when I finally sat down with you and had a real conversation of like, okay, show me the numbers, explain to me how it works, and then explain it again, because I have such ADD that I only paid attention to half of it. And so then I think by like the 5th time that you went over it with me, it finally stuck, and it made sense and clicked. And I was like, okay, well, this is like no brainer for me.
So now that you're like in it, immersed in it, what's the type of caliber of people you see over here? I mean, like Kyle Whistle. I mean, dude, why would he? Yeah. So
yeah, it's phenomenal. Like just hearing. So I really like Kyle Whistle and all of his stuff, and heard his name a lot in a lot of the podcasts and everything that I listen to. Hear great things about EXP just from Tom Ferry, which in itself speaks volumes. But one of the things that I like is that you have access to everybody. I mean, it's been kind of cool seeing you just hop on the phone with people and be like, hey, can you do a quick call with us? Like I got to actually talk to Kyle Whistle on the phone, which it doesn't happen when you are at other brokerages and you hear of these big names and it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll meet them at some seminar or get to, interact with them in some way, shape, or form at like a mixer or something. But to be able to actually get them on the phone and get advice from them, he emailed us stuff from his team that he recommended for us, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, just being able to reach out to people and nobody's like, whether you affect them monetarily or not. I mean, I was on the phone a little bit with Brent Gove yesterday. I'm going to be on the phone with him again on Wednesday, so, and I'm not even, he doesn't earn money off me.
Yeah.
So, and he said it flat out, he's like, dude, I just want to help you. And it's crazy. Like, well, we just brought over the #1 REMAX agent in Alabama.
Yeah.
who has a free training program, 0 to Diamond. Brent Gove has a free training program. Kyle Whistle he helped us out for nothing, So yeah, it's just been crazy. I mean, but I don't know anything else but EXP. But and I'm not a big Kool-Aid guy, so I'm not going to say I drink the Kool-Aid. Everything just makes sense for me.
And I do have to mention Jay Nelson too. It's really cool. He was just out here in Colorado Springs meeting with people one-on-one. I mean, he, being 25th in the company and then still meeting with some of my people that are still in process of getting their license right now and taking the time and just being accessible is insane. So
yeah. All right. This is a 2-part question, and you can kind of just flow into it. So with all this craziness going on, how do you feel EXP is doing in the COVID-19? Like what, expectations you had, people you see and trying to play catch up? I mean, we're not here to bash anybody. It's
no.
It's real. It's not like fake news or anything. And then what is the market outcome? What do you see the market doing right now for, not just I mean, I know you're not going to say this, but like, oh, the market's okay. Let's talk about buyers, sellers, investors, and then rentals as well. So
yeah. Okay. So part one. So with EXP, actually, I messaged you this morning because I had wanted to know if I could share things from Workplace, which is a part of Facebook that EXP utilizes just for EXP. It's kind of like our own Facebook for our company. I saw something that was really cool that I wanted to share. And I didn't know, I didn't figure out how to share it, but I'm not the most tech savvy person. So basically I saw a post that said EXP is taking 100% profits and they're putting it into the Extend a Hand to help agents out during this time, which I think is huge. Watched like a quick little video on like what that means and who it's going to and how it's going to help, it's really cool that they're doing all of that right now. I really like that we're already set up for being prepared for all of this. I don't think that COVID-19 is why EXP was created, but it's awesome that this is how convenient it is right now. And then, just the other part that right now we don't have a ton of fees for people. So if you do end up being one of those people that doesn't have a lot of business, or this really halts or slows things for you, I know for buyers agents right now, it's going to make things incredibly difficult. We don't have super expensive fees where you're going to go bankrupt in a couple of months if you don't get stuff moving, and then there's also all of these resources and trainings on how to keep things moving or pick things back up if it did slow for you. So
Yeah.
so
Literally
I'm just
70 hours of training a week.
yeah, it feels like even more than that right now, especially with everything that they're adding constantly and the Q&As that we have access to. So so I don't know if that completely answered the question, but
It does.
yeah.
I mean, there's just, I've only been in the industry for a year and a couple months. Did pretty decent my first year. I wasn't ever going to join a team. Not going to happen, just because wasn't my personality.
Yeah.
But not saying there's anything wrong with it. We have a team, obviously, you and I, and I'm not knocking teams. It's been interesting and fun, and we're very appreciative of all of our team members and leads and all that. But it's just wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't need it. And then so from what I see, right? There's so many things that are falling into place. Like our rev share wasn't affected, right? It may be affected a little bit, but it's not getting cut, right? Like they're not just cutting it because of expenses. It's going to probably go down a little bit, maybe, because people's homes or people are going to have struggle selling homes. It's not because of expenses. So, and then our stock is what it is. The whole stock market's and then we offer healthcare, all that good stuff. So I don't know. There's just a ton of stuff that like kind of bunch of safety nets and all that good stuff. All right.
Yeah. And I do have to say this. So when the whole time that I was in Denver, I was with Keller Williams and the downtown office.
He's a regional guy, isn't it?
Huh?
Doesn't he own the regional?
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
And I know that they've moved and changed some people around since I've been there. So for me, going to Georgia and getting used to that was very difficult. And the brokerage relationship that I had there was very different. So I had to adapt. And then coming here, just knowing the culture that I experienced up in Denver, there wasn't anything down here that compared to it. So for me, it was kind of like trying to make something fit that wasn't going to. And I didn't see myself being as happy at another brokerage. It was more of like a settle, like, okay, I am where I am. Unless I move back up to Denver, this is what I'm working with as far as brokerages go. But being at EXP, I've actually felt a lot of that culture, and I felt like I'm back in that happy place where I was when I was in Denver. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, happy to work with us.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah. As far as where the market's going right now, I mean,
you want me to just draw like a squiggly line?
Have you seen that show? And it's like Jeremy Bearimy, and it's, I don't know. But anyway, so it's, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not an expert. I mean, we've been hearing, I'm back in Tom Ferry coaching, and we've been hearing the same thing over and over again. Recession doesn't always equal housing market crash. Everyone hears the R word and thinks 2008. And I don't blame them. I mean, like, it was
scary time.
Horribly scary. And no one wants to go back to that. And you're seeing mixed things right now where it's like, okay, did we accidentally create our own housing crash? Is it going to boom again after everything picks back up? All I know is right now, things have definitely changed. We have to shift and pivot how we're doing business, and we have to just prepare for any case scenario and keep moving on. Be there and just kind of make sure that we're informing our clients now more than ever. making sure that they understand all of the risks and everything, why everything is changing right now. Because some people understand, yeah, all the COVID stuff is going on, but they don't get the repercussions of, just even from our day-to-day of, okay, why do we have to extend dates out or anything like that? Or why am I having a harder time qualifying than I was before? Simple things like that, where they don't do this every day. So you have to make sure that you inform them and what it means if you get into a tough spot and you don't communicate with your mortgage lender, what that can mean for them, So I think it's just making sure we stay in the know.
Yeah, and what's a couple things that could happen, if communication's not there? Literally, we had like 125 people in the room today for our state meeting, and they kind of talked about a little bit of it. But what are some things, challenges with like lenders, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, as of right now, the governor's orders, the attorney general is saying we are only essential for actually closing, but there's a lot of steps that go into a transaction that you and I both know, but most people don't understand that has to occur before we can even get to the closing table. So to say that our closings are essential, that's great, but what about actually viewing the home? I mean, yeah, there's a certain point where you can get virtual tours, but at some point someone has to get in there to inspect the home and say, the foundation is where it is, or the roof's in good condition, or, there might be an issue with plumbing, things like that. And then once beyond that, you have to have an appraiser in there. And I don't know if I don't know 100% if appraisals were considered essential. I think there's still a lot of gray area. I'm thinking that they are, but
I read somewhere, and this isn't fact, I was just scrolling through the intranet, I saw that appraisals were crucial, but inspections weren't, or essential. I'm like,
I would almost argue that inspections are as important as appraisals, just because you don't want someone to get into a home and have $20,000 of sewer work and not know it until they're already signed over the deed and own the home. It's better to be able to have them inspect it than force them to move forward to the closing table without an inspection. So, I mean, I don't know. And I first thing I did this morning was text my inspector, and he said he said he is he's still trying to get some clarification from CAR. He's not 100% sure either. So we do have a lot of gray area, a lot of unanswered questions, just because the people that are making these decisions don't understand every detail that goes into the transaction. There's a reason it's a month-long process. It's not like we want you to have to sit and wait and make sure you really want it. It's because we have a lot of steps that we have to take to get there.
And then, okay, so what should real estate agents right now, when they're sitting home, maybe not as busy as they I
can guess who that is.
So they're not as busy as they were, right? What do you recommend them doing at this time? Some key steps.
Yeah, I mean, still research. Definitely keep looking at the statistics. Get on some trainings, as many trainings as you can fit into your schedule right now, to make sure that you're staying fresh, you're staying current. There's a few that I've seen that are really good. It's like, okay, what now? What do some of the financial forecasters see, as soon as we're coming out of this, especially if it continues to go on? I know all of our dates keep getting pushed back and back and back. So what happens if we can't resume kind of business as usual until the end of May or June? Things like that. I would say definitely stay in touch with your sphere, be checking on people. We do role play twice a week. I signed up for another group today just to kind of keep myself, I'm not talking to as many clients that are like ready to go out and show or ready to list their house right now. So how do I talk to them about that? How do we plan for that? How do we prep? What are other agents experiencing? Because I might be in a different situation than someone else, and so might be able to give them advice, or vice versa. And just making sure that you're continuing with your lead gen and things like that, and maybe just shifting it a little bit. Like, okay, I understand we can't do showings right now, so can we get your listing as ready as possible? Or if you want to go ahead and list it, can you walk around and FaceTime with my buyers? Because the seller, well, not all sellers, but a lot of sellers are in their home right now. So things like that. Get super savvy on technology. So like for me, I've been practicing Zoom because yes, I am a technologically ignorant person at a cloud-based brokerage. So figuring out how to work in the world, things like that. So
And it's probably frustrating working with me because I just added a new system today.
I know you're always with the new things. So I feel like such an old person. I'm like, show me how to work this.
Yeah. I actually like this new one. It's pretty cool. Can you see that?
Yeah. I can see the banner. I know. Do you see me reading it over and over?
Yeah. Pretty cool. But so this is actually, this program is StreamYard. I don't know if it says it on Facebook. I'll look at it, but it's pretty cool. Saw one of our leaders using it, and I just want to jump in and play with it. So, and I like it so far. You can link up to 5 social media platforms. So I have my LinkedIn application in.
Awesome.
And I can go YouTube, LinkedIn, both Facebook pages. I can even add our team page if you want.
That's cool. What about Instagram?
I don't know.
No. Okay.
No,
sorry.
maybe
no.
not.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. I'll check. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
But that would be a game changer. But yeah, so I just want to thank you for your time. I know you're extremely busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, actually, I do have quite a bit. It's actually been on calls all day. So yeah, still continuing on with the schedule.
Yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, it's easy to get lazy at this time. We talk about it at every meeting. I'm pretty sure I beat a dead horse, but it's like, it's just easy to get lazy. So try not to get lazy.
Yeah, I know. It's not the time. I mean, obviously I'm taking more time to spend with my family right now than I ever have before, which is kind of sad. But so like yesterday I ignored my phone until I got back at like 6 o'clock at night, and then dealt with everything that I needed to deal with. But you know, every other day aside from that, I've been on calls for 3/4 or more of the day. So, you know, and up until recently I was in showings every evening. So, I mean, you know, you got to stay with it. You have to keep talking to people. You have to keep moving. You have to keep building. I hate using this term, but you have to keep building your pipeline. So.
All right. One last question and then I'll let you go. All right. I know this COVID-19 was not on anybody's vision board. So no. I know if it was, you're going to hell, just so you know. But because I don't know why you'd wish this upon anybody.
I know.
Goals for 2020.
Goals for 2020.
Yeah, so say this is over by June 1.
Uh-huh.
What's your goal for the rest of the year?
Well, I mean, even if it's not over by June 1, I'm still going to continue with my goals. So my goals were to acquire more units, which I've done. So have 10, in the process of getting 19. I want to double our team, and we're in the process of doing that. And then I want our team to I can't say double their production from last year because we only got, banded in November. So I foresee us doing at least 20 million. So that's my expectation of our team. And then I don't know if you know this, I have 4 mentees outside of our team, and I want them to do their first transactions because they're all brand new into real estate, and I want them to be super successful. So those are kind of my.
They got if they make it.
I know. I told them all. I was like, if you can do business during this, you can do it so easy the rest of your career.
Yes. But I can't stress enough. People need to make their phone calls because if you're watching, thank you. New buyers, we just got under contract. But literally, you and I just took it was like an hour, and we just made phone calls, and they're like, yeah. We're like ready to buy. So
I mean, everyone's answering their phone right now.
Yeah. So definitely make your phone calls, be disciplined, and again, thank you for your time. Um,
Thank you.
I'm sure I'll see you. Oh yeah, we probably have a meeting later.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so appreciate it. Look forward to continuing our partnership and crushing this deal that we call EXP and real estate and life. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, actually, I think we're going to hop off the phone and talk about listings, right?
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And very cool tool. I like it. Thanks.
Yeah, cool.
Bye.